When was the last time you looked in the mirror and truly saw yourself? Not the version you show the world, but the one buried beneath your habits, your fears, your quiet compromises. There's a voice inside you that's been whispering for years, but you've drowned it out with distractions, with noise, with endless scrolling. You tell yourself you're fine, that this is just life. But deep down, you know something's missing. You can feel it. The weight of everything you haven't said, everything you haven't done, everything you once dreamed of becoming but let slip through your fingers. You've built a life that looks okay from the outside, but inside something is screaming. You've been told freedom means comfort, that peace means avoiding pain. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if the peace you're searching for only comes after the chaos, after you confront everything you've been running from? Because you are running, even if you don't admit it, running from rejection, from failure, from yourself. Every time you stay silent when you should speak, every time you settle for less than you deserve, every time you convince yourself that someday is good enough. That's not living. That's surviving. And survival isn't freedom. The truth is hard to face because it forces you to see how much you've given away. You've given your time to people who don't value it, your energy to problems that don't matter, your attention to things designed to keep you small. You chase validation instead of meaning. You build comfort instead of courage. You're trapped, but not by anyone else. The cage is invisible, built from your own thoughts, from the lies your mind tells you to keep you safe. But safety and freedom can't exist in the same space. One always kills the other. So ask yourself, what's really keeping you stuck? It's not the job, not the relationship, not the world around you. It's the fear of what will happen when you stop pretending. Because deep down, you already know the truth. You know what needs to change. You've known it for a long time. You just haven't had the courage to face it. And that's okay. You're not weak. You're human. We all avoid pain, even when that pain is the only thing that can set us free. But here's the thing about truth. It waits. It doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It grows heavier the longer you carry it. It shows up in your exhaustion, in your frustration, in that quiet ache that won't go away. You keep trying to fix the surface, hoping something external will make it better. But freedom doesn't come from fixing the world around you. It comes from breaking the walls inside you, the ones built from excuses, expectations, and fear. You were not meant to live half asleep. You were not meant to settle for good enough. There's a part of you that remembers what real life feels like. The spark, the hunger, the pull toward something more. You buried it under logic, under responsibility, under the belief that this is just how things are. But it's still there, waiting for you to wake up, waiting for you to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. So let this be the moment you stop lying to yourself. The moment you stop calling your cage comfort. Stop calling your fear realistic. Stop calling your silence peace. You don't need another plan, another list, another promise. You need honesty. The kind that burns through denial. The kind that shakes you awake. Because once you see the truth, truly see it, you can't unsee it. And that's the beginning of real freedom. Not the kind you find in money or success or approval, the kind that lives inside you, waiting for you to claim it. The kind that can't be taken away because it doesn't depend on anything or anyone else. If you stay until the end, you'll feel it. The shift. The power that comes when you stop running and finally face yourself. The pain will still be there, but it will no longer control you. Because you'll understand what most never do. The truth may hurt, but it's the only thing that can set you free. You've been waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the perfect moment to begin. But that moment doesn't exist. There is no ready. There is only now. Every second you wait, the life you could have lived drifts further away. The dreams fade a little more. The fire inside you grows quieter. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to remember what that fire ever felt like. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. You'll try when things calm down, when it's easier, when you feel more confident. But life doesn't slow down for anyone. It keeps moving, with or without you. Every hesitation is a silent decision to stay where you are. And deep down, you know it. You feel it, that quiet regret that builds when you look at your life and realize you've been playing small. You weren't meant to drift. You were meant to rise, to fight, to create something that outlives your fear. But fear doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to test you, to see how badly you want it. Every person who ever broke free faced the same fear you feel right now. The only difference is they didn't listen to it, they moved anyway. Your mind will do everything it can to keep you safe. It will feed you reasons, logical ones. It will tell you you're not ready, that you'll fail, that you're not good enough. But understand this, the mind's first instinct is protection, not freedom. It will always choose safety over growth. You can't let that voice decide your life, because the more you obey it, the smaller your world becomes. You've already paid the price of playing it safe, the missed chances, the dreams you abandoned, the potential you never use. Safety has cost you more than risk ever could. And if you keep waiting, that cost only grows. There's nothing more painful than realizing you were the one holding yourself back, that the cage was never locked, you just never tried the door. The truth is, pain isn't what breaks you. Avoiding it does. Every time you run from discomfort, you strengthen the walls around you. But every time you face it, those walls begin to crack. That's how freedom begins. Not with ease, but with courage. Courage to feel, to fail, to keep going, even when everything inside you screams to stop. No one is coming to save you. No one's going to hand you the life you want. You have to take it. You have to decide that your excuses are no longer welcome, that your fear no longer makes the rules. Because the world will move on whether you do or not. And if you don't rise now, someone else will. Someone who's no smarter, no stronger, just more willing to act. You've spent enough time surviving, enough time blending in, hiding behind doubt, waiting for permission. Freedom isn't given, it's claimed. It's earned through every hard choice, every lonely night, every moment you wanted to quit but didn't. You build freedom through discipline, through honesty, through action. It's not easy, but it's real. And once you taste it, you'll never go back. The clock is ticking, not someday, not next week, now. The version of you that could have been, the one with courage, purpose, peace, is waiting for you to stop overthinking and start moving. You don't need more motivation. You need motion. One choice, one step. That's all it takes to shift everything. You are stronger than the fear that holds you. You are greater than the limits you've accepted. You are capable of rebuilding your mind, your habits, your entire life. But you must decide, right here, right now, to stop running from truth and start walking toward freedom, because freedom isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And the moment you choose it, your life changes. The noise fades, the excuses die. What's left is raw, real, and yours. You'll feel the pain, but beneath it, something greater, clarity, power, purpose. That's what you've been searching for all along. It's not out there, it's in you, waiting for you to claim it. Most people never find real freedom because they never learn to face themselves. They chase distractions, numb their thoughts, drown their silence, and call it peace. But peace doesn't come from avoidance. It comes from confrontation, the kind that strips you bare and forces you to see what's been holding you back all along. You've built walls around your pain, convincing yourself that if you just keep moving, it will disappear. But pain doesn't fade with time. It waits. It waits for the moment you finally slow down and realize that the battle you've been fighting wasn't with the world. It was with your own reflection. You say you want change, but change doesn't happen while you're comfortable. It happens when you reach the breaking point, the moment when staying the same hurts more than facing your fear. That's when transformation begins. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't feel empowering at first. It feels like losing everything you thought you were. But that's the truth about rebirth. You can't become something new while clinging to who you used to be. Your mind will resist. It will scream for comfort, for routine, for the illusion of control. It will tell you to stop, to go back, to choose safety. But safety is a slow death. Every day you give in to that voice, you trade a piece of your potential for another day of comfort. And one day, you'll look back and realize that fear didn't protect you. It robbed you. It stole your time, your energy, your purpose. You'll see how much you gave away to the opinions of others, to the doubt that wasn't even yours, to the stories you were told about what's possible. You weren't born to live small. You were born to rise, to break cycles, to challenge the lies that have been passed down to you. But that requires something rare, honesty. The kind that doesn't hide behind positive thinking or fake confidence. The kind that stings. The kind that forces you to admit you've been holding the key to your cage all along. You've been waiting for permission to live when the only permission you ever needed was your own. The truth is, life will never slow down to let you catch up. The world doesn't pause for your healing, your fear, or your hesitation. Every moment you delay, someone else is out there creating, building, becoming what you were meant to be. You can keep watching, wishing, waiting, or you can decide that enough is enough, that you've been quiet long enough, that you've played small long enough, that you're done being a spectator in your own story. This isn't about motivation. It's about awakening. Waking up to the fact that the person you've been is not the person you're meant to remain. You have power buried under layers of doubt and distraction. You've felt it before, that pull to do more, to be more. It's still there, waiting for you to stop silencing it, waiting for you to stop letting fear sound more reasonable than faith. Every excuse you make feels harmless until you realize they've built your entire life. Every moment you avoid discomfort strengthens the chains around you. You've convinced yourself that freedom is something you earn, but it's not. It's something you claim. The moment you stop running from the truth, you reclaim your power. You remember what it feels like to move with purpose, to speak with conviction, to live with meaning. But this isn't going to be easy. Growth never is. It demands sacrifice. It will strip away your illusions, your ego, your need for control. It will leave you standing face to face with your own potential, and that's terrifying. Because deep down, you know what you're capable of, and that's what scares you most. You're afraid of your own greatness, afraid of what happens when there are no more excuses left to hide behind. So this is your choice. Keep pretending you're powerless, or finally rise into the person you were meant to be. Stop chasing the idea of freedom and start living it. Stop seeking comfort in what's killing your spirit. The world doesn't need another person playing it safe. It needs someone willing to break free, someone willing to live the truth no one else will face. Let that someone be you, because once you choose truth over fear, nothing and no one can cage you again. Freedom begins when you stop waiting for someone to tell you who you are. You've been shaped by voices that never understood your soul. Teachers, friends, family, society, all telling you what's possible, what's realistic, what's acceptable. And somewhere along the way, you believed them. You believed their limits. You took their fears and wore them as your own. But those voices are not truth. They are echoes of people who gave up on themselves. If you keep listening to them, you'll follow the same path, safe, small, and silent. You don't owe the world your compliance. You owe yourself your potential. The world rewards those who fit in, but it remembers those who don't. The ones who refuse to shrink to make others comfortable. The ones who walk alone if they have to. That's the price of freedom. Loneliness at first, misunderstanding, even ridicule, but it's temporary. Because when you walk your path long enough, the same people who doubted you will call you fearless. You can't find yourself while living someone else's life. You can't discover your strength by playing weak. Every time you say yes when your heart screams no, you lose a piece of who you are. Every time you silence your truth to keep the peace, you trade authenticity for acceptance. And it's never worth it. Because the peace that comes from pleasing others will always cost you the war inside your own soul. The world doesn't need more people pretending. It needs people who are alive, raw, real, unfiltered. You have that fire inside you. It's been dimmed, buried under layers of fear and logic, but it's still burning. And you feel it, don't you? That restless energy, that quiet anger, that whisper that says you were meant for more. That's not arrogance. That's memory. It's your soul remembering what it's capable of. But remembering isn't enough. You have to move. You have to stop treating your potential like a someday project. Every day you wait is a piece of your life you'll never get back. You can't keep saying you'll start when you're ready. You'll never be ready. No one ever is. Freedom doesn't wait for preparation. It waits for decision. The moment you decide you've had enough of your own excuses, you start to change. Not someday, not when it's perfect. Now. And yes, you will lose things. You'll lose people who prefer the version of you that played small. You'll lose comfort, predictability, and maybe even approval. But you'll gain something greater, yourself. You'll wake up one morning and realize you no longer need validation. You'll stop asking for permission to exist. You'll stop fearing failure because you'll understand something powerful. The only real failure is not trying. Growth will demand everything from you. It will test your patience, your courage, your faith. It will break you open just to rebuild you stronger, but it will be worth it. Because every layer of fear you shed brings you closer to who you truly are. Every act of courage frees another part of your soul. Freedom isn't a single moment. It's a process of unbecoming everything you're not. And once you taste it, there's no going back. You'll start to see the world differently. You'll realize how much of it is built on illusion. People chasing approval, hiding behind status, terrified of standing alone. You'll see how few are truly free. And you'll understand that the cost of belonging is too high if it means betraying yourself. You are here to live fully, to feel deeply, to create something real. You are not here to blend in with the background of someone else's story. The world may not understand your path, but it doesn't have to. It was never meant to. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be unleashed. So stop waiting for courage to appear. Create it. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Claim it. Your future self is watching you right now, begging you to move, to rise, to become. Don't let them down. Because once you choose truth over comfort, once you choose movement over fear, you'll realize something powerful. Freedom was never something you had to find. It was something you had to remember. Most people will live their whole lives asleep, convinced that the noise around them is living. They follow the pattern, wake, work, scroll, sleep, and call it purpose. They measure their worth by comparison, their happiness by distraction, their success by approval. But deep down, they know there's something wrong with the way they're living. That quiet ache that never leaves isn't depression. It's truth trying to wake you up. The truth that you were never meant to just exist. You were meant to rise, to create, to lead, to feel alive. You keep waiting for a sign, but this is it. This is the moment your life either changes or stays the same. There is no neutral ground. Every choice you make pushes you closer to freedom or deeper into fear. Every hesitation feeds your weakness. Every act of courage feeds your power. You can't control everything that happens, but you can always control whether you move. Movement is freedom. Stagnation is death. You already know what needs to change. You've known for a long time. That habit, that mindset, that relationship, that job. You tell yourself it's not the right time, but time isn't the problem. Fear is. You think fear means stop. It doesn't. It means go. It means you're standing at the edge of transformation. The fear won't disappear. It will follow you. But once you step forward, it loses its power. Because fear feeds on hesitation. The moment you move, it starves. You don't need to be fearless. You need to move despite fear. You need to remind yourself that pain is not punishment. It's progress. Every scar, every setback, every sleepless night, it's all part of becoming unshakable. Growth demands discomfort. You can't build strength and safety. You can't find freedom without sacrifice. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And yes, the world will test you. It will push back the moment you decide to rise. People will doubt you. They'll call you unrealistic, arrogant, delusional. Let them. They're speaking from their own limits, not yours. Most people can't stand to see someone break the chains they've accepted. They'll try to pull you back because your courage exposes their fear. But remember this, you don't owe anyone your smallness. You don't need their permission to evolve. The path to freedom is lonely, but it's not empty. It's filled with purpose. It's filled with quiet moments where you'll meet the real you, the one that existed before fear, before doubt, before the world told you who to be. That version of you has been waiting to return. Every step toward truth brings them closer. Every act of courage awakens them. And once you meet them again, you'll understand why you had to go through everything you did. Every loss, every failure, every heartbreak, it was all preparation. It was teaching you what comfort never could. You will fall, you will break, you will question if it's worth it, and it is. Because every time you rise again, you become someone new, someone the old you could never imagine being. You start to see that real power doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender, from trusting that you are built to handle the storm, from knowing that everything that tries to destroy you is secretly shaping you. Most people die before they ever live because they let fear make their decisions. Don't be one of them. Don't settle for the numbness of an unfulfilled life. You were not born to be comfortable. You were born to be free. And freedom will cost you. It will demand you let go of your excuses, your attachments, your false identities. It will take everything you thought you needed and replace it with everything you actually are. This is the turning point. The moment where you stop waiting for life to get easier and decide to get stronger. The moment you stop seeking permission and start giving yourself direction. The moment you stop existing and start living. You've been asleep long enough. The world doesn't need more dreamers. It needs people who wake up and do something with their fire. You are that person. You always have been. You just forgot. But now you remember. And once you remember, you can never go back. The hardest truth to face is that no one is coming to fix your life. No one is going to wake you up, drag you out of bed, or pull you toward your purpose. It's on you. It's always been on you. That's what freedom really means. No more blaming, no more waiting, no more illusions that someone else will make it right. The moment you take full responsibility for your life is the moment everything changes. It's brutal, it's heavy, but it's also the moment you become unstoppable. Because once you realize that you're the problem, you also realize that you're the solution. You've been carrying the weight of your own potential for too long. That constant feeling that you are meant for more isn't a fantasy, it's a call. The longer you ignore it, the louder it gets. That's why you can't find peace no matter how much you distract yourself. Because your soul knows when you're settling. It knows when you're hiding. And it will keep pushing, breaking, burning until you finally listen. The discomfort you feel right now isn't punishment. It's guidance. It's your mind trying to wake you up. You think you're afraid of failure, but you're not. You're afraid of what happens if you actually succeed, because success means responsibility. It means leaving behind the identity you've built around struggle and excuses. It means no longer being able to hide behind potential. When you rise, you lose the comfort of pretending you can't. But you were not born to stay in the shadows of your own story. You were born to step into the light of your capability, to become the person you've always known you could be. There will be pain, real pain. Growth isn't poetic, it's raw. It will demand you face every part of yourself you've avoided. The weakness, the doubt, the anger, the regret. But if you can stand there in the middle of it all and refuse to run, you will find something no comfort can ever give you: power. The kind that comes from self-control, self-belief, and self-honesty. The kind that cannot be taken from you because you earned it through the fire. You've been trained to think freedom means escape, that it means doing whatever you want. But that's not freedom, that's chaos. Real freedom is discipline. It's the ability to control your mind when everything around you is trying to pull you away. It's choosing purpose over pleasure, direction over distraction, truth over comfort. The world will tempt you with shortcuts, with comfort zones disguised as peace. But every time you choose the easy path, you trade your power for pleasure that never lasts. You don't need motivation. You need standards. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, "This is who I am now," and mean it. You need to decide that the old version of you, the one who made excuses, who delayed, who doubted, is gone. You bury them not with words, but with action. Every morning you rise when it's hard. Every time you push when it hurts. Every time you choose truth when it's uncomfortable. That's how you kill weakness. That's how you build freedom. People will notice the change. They'll say you've become distant, different, detached. Good. You're not meant to be understood by those still sleeping. You're meant to inspire them to wake up. You don't owe anyone your old self. You owe everything to the person you're becoming. And that person isn't afraid anymore. They don't wait for the right conditions. They create them. They don't talk about what they'll do. They do it. This is the point where most give up, the place where the pain feels endless, where results seem invisible. But this is also the place where transformation happens. The space between breaking and breakthrough. Most never make it through because they turn back too soon. Don't. Keep walking, keep pushing, keep burning through the lies your mind tells you. Because once you cross that invisible line, once you feel what it's like to command your own mind, you'll understand why most people never find freedom. It's not because they can't, it's because they stop. You can't stop now. Not after everything you've endured. Not after all the times you said one day. That day is now. This moment, this breath. The world is waiting for you to remember who you are. The pain, the fear, the struggle, it's all proof that you're still alive. And as long as you're alive, you still have time to change, to rise, to become. Freedom is not given, it's earned. And the only thing standing between you and the life you're meant to live is the lie that says you can't. Every day you wake up, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to who you've always been, familiar, predictable, safe. The other leads to the person you could become, uncomfortable, uncertain, but alive. Most people keep choosing the first path, not because they want to, but because it's easier to repeat pain than face the unknown. But deep down, you know where your future is built. Not in comfort, but in chaos. Not in certainty, but in risk. That's where you find your edge. That's where you find yourself. You've been told to play it smart, to stay patient, to wait for the right time. But the right time never comes. It's a myth. A story we tell ourselves so we don't have to move. You don't need more time. You need more truth. The truth that your potential is wasting away while you plan the perfect moment to begin. Every second you wait, the life you were meant to live drifts further from reach. And if that doesn't terrify you, it should. Because time doesn't ask permission. It doesn't slow down for your fears. It moves. And the question is, will you? Your mind will fight you. It will whisper reasons, rationalizations, and reminders of every time you've failed. It will drag you back to your old patterns because it's addicted to the familiar. The brain loves what it knows, even when what it knows is killing you. But the truth is simple. Your mind isn't your master. It's your tool. You can rewire it. You can reprogram it. You can teach it to obey your vision instead of your fear. The first step to freedom is realizing that your thoughts aren't facts. They're habits. And habits can be broken. There's a voice inside you that you've ignored for too long. The one that speaks when you're quiet. The one that reminds you that you were made for more than survival. That voice is your truth. It's the part of you that remembers who you are before the world told you who to be. But every time you choose distraction over discipline, you silence it. Every time you say tomorrow, you turn the volume down on your purpose. But that voice will never stop calling. You can bury it, drown it, deny it, but it won't die. It will wait until the day you finally get tired of your own lies. And that's the breaking point. The day you can't stand your excuses anymore. The day you realize that pain isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Pain is the signal that you're alive, that something inside you is ready to evolve. Freedom demands that you face it, that you feel it fully, that you stop numbing it with comfort. Because every time you numb the pain, you also numb your potential. And when you do that long enough, you lose the ability to feel anything real. The truth is, not everyone will understand this journey. They'll say you've changed, you're supposed to. They'll say you're selfish, you're not. You're reclaiming your time, your mind, your life. They'll say you're crazy for believing in yourself that much. Let them talk. The ones who laugh at you now will one day ask how you did it. The only difference between you and them is that you didn't stop when it got hard. You kept going when it was lonely. You believed when no one else did. That's what separates the free from the trapped, the decision to move when others freeze. And it is a decision. No one drifts into greatness. No one stumbles into freedom. You choose it. Every day, every moment. You choose to show up when you're tired. You choose to fight your mind when it tells you to quit. You choose truth when lies feel easier. That's the real work. That's what builds the kind of strength no one can take from you. One day you'll look back and realize that the pain you feared was the doorway you needed to walk through. That the storm you thought would destroy you was the fire that forged you. Everything you're facing now is shaping you for what's next. Nothing is wasted. Every scar is proof that you were strong enough to survive what others couldn't. So stop doubting. Stop delaying. Stop waiting for signs. You are the sign. This is the moment. And if you want freedom, you have to take it. Because no one will hand it to you. Freedom belongs to the few who are brave enough to fight for it. Be one of them. Freedom isn't found in comfort. It's found in confrontation. The moment you face the truth you've been avoiding. The truth that your life won't change until you decide you've had enough of your own patterns. Enough of shrinking to fit into places that no longer hold your future. Enough of saying one day when you know that day never comes. You've spent years trying to escape the discomfort of growth, but what if the real pain is staying the same? What if the weight you feel isn't from the world pressing down, but from potential trapped inside you, begging to be released? You've been told to chase happiness, but happiness is fragile. It fades when life gets hard. What you need is strength. Strength doesn't depend on moods or motivation. It's born from discipline. The quiet decision to keep going long after your emotions quit. Because emotions lie. They tell you to stop when you're close. They tell you to rest when you need to rise. If you always obey your feelings, you'll stay stuck in cycles of regret, promising yourself that tomorrow will be different while repeating the same choices that broke you. The mind is powerful, but it's also a trickster. It creates limits that don't exist, fears that never happen, problems that only live in imagination. The mind can build prisons without walls, places where you convince yourself you're trapped, when in truth, the door has always been open. But you won't walk through it till you accept one hard truth. Freedom costs everything you're clinging to. Your excuses, your doubts, your false sense of control. You can't be free and comfortable at the same time. You have to choose. Most people never choose. They stay in cages they built themselves, blaming circumstance while holding the key. They talk about what they'll do someday, as if the future owes them a favor. But the future doesn't owe you anything. The universe rewards movement, not intention. The moment you take action, real, uncomfortable, terrifying action, everything shifts. Doors appear where walls once stood, energy returns, opportunities align, because life responds to courage, not hesitation. You will lose people along the way. The ones who preferred the old version of you. The ones who only loved you when you played small. Let them go. Their comfort with your weakness is not your responsibility. You're not here to be liked. You're here to become limitless. You're here to break every invisible chain your mind has built. And that means walking alone sometimes. It means silence, isolation, doubt. But it's in that silence that you'll hear your power, the kind of power that doesn't need validation to exist. You failed before, yes. You've fallen, broken, lost direction. But failure isn't the end. It's the instruction manual. Every setback taught you how to survive. Every disappointment carved depth into your character. You don't grow from victory, you grow from wounds. Scars are just the proof that pain didn't win. You did. So stop hiding your scars. Wear them like armor. They remind you of what you've already overcome, and that makes you unstoppable. Every second you doubt yourself, you feed your fear. Every second you act despite doubt, you starve it. The secret isn't to eliminate fear, it's to make fear irrelevant. It's to walk into it so many times that it stops controlling you. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move while fear screams at you to stop. And every time you choose courage, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. Look at where you are now. Everything you've endured was preparation. The pain, the losses, the delays, they weren't punishment, they were training. They were shaping you for this exact moment, the one where you finally understand nothing changes until you do. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream about. You either rise and claim it, or you watch it fade into the background of your excuses. So ask yourself, how much longer will you wait? How many more years will you trade for the illusion of safety? You've already survived everything that was meant to break you. That means you're ready. Not tomorrow. Not when it's easy. Now, because real freedom doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins when you do. You've spent your whole life trying to make sense of the chaos, trying to fix, control, predict, and plan. But freedom isn't about control. It's about surrender. It's about realizing that life was never meant to be mastered, only lived. The obsession with perfection, the endless striving, the desperate chase for validation, it's what keeps you trapped. You don't need more answers. You need more honesty. You need to face the truth that control is just fear wearing a mask, pretending to protect you while slowly killing your spirit. The world taught you that safety is success, that avoiding risk means winning, but safety is a lie. Safety is a cage lined with comfort and excuses. The longer you stay there, the smaller you become. You start trading your fire for peace, your dreams for stability, your passion for predictability. And one day, you wake up wondering why you feel empty, even when everything looks fine. That emptiness is your soul rebelling against the life you settled for. It's the reminder that existing is not the same as living. You were not born to play it safe. You were born to expand, to explore, to fall and rebuild, to burn and rise again. Every cell in your body is wired for growth. That's why stagnation feels like suffocation. You can't evolve if you're always avoiding discomfort. Growth doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from what stretches you, breaks you, rebuilds you stronger. Every challenge you avoid becomes a chain you carry. Every fear you face becomes a key to your freedom. The truth is, you already know what you need to do. You've always known. But you've been waiting for certainty, for the guarantee that it will work, that you won't fail, that the world will approve. You're waiting for the fear to disappear before you move, but that's not how it works. Action kills fear. Movement rewires the mind. The longer you wait, the louder fear grows. The only way out is through it, through the doubts, through the noise, through the voice that says, you can't, because that voice is lying. It always has been. You think the world is watching you, judging you, waiting for you to fail. But no one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. Everyone's too consumed by their own fears. You're not being watched. You being tested. And every test is a chance to prove to yourself that you're stronger than you were yesterday. The world doesn't owe you recognition. It owes you resistance. Because resistance is what builds resilience. Without it, you'd never grow the muscle to handle the life you want. The people who reach real freedom aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who stopped expecting it to be easy. They stopped needing everything to make sense. They stopped needing permission to begin. They walked into the unknown with trembling hands and racing hearts. And they kept walking anyway. That's what courage looks like. Not confidence, not clarity, just the willingness to step forward when everything inside you screams to turn back. But here's the part no one tells you. When you start walking that path, you'll lose things. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose certainty. You might lose people, but what you gain is worth it all. You gain peace that isn't dependent on circumstance. You gain power that no one can take. You gain the kind of freedom that only comes from facing yourself fully. Because that's what this journey is really about. Freedom from the lies you've told yourself. Freedom from the illusion that you need fixing. Freedom from the belief that you're not enough. You've been waiting for a sign, but this is it. The discomfort you feel right now is the invitation. The heaviness in your chest, the pull in your gut, that's your future calling you out of hiding. You're not lost. You're being redirected. Every closed door, every delay, every heartbreak was preparing you to see what's real. To stop chasing what doesn't matter. To finally wake up. Because the truth is, freedom was never something to find. It was something to remember. You've had it all along. Beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the noise, that power inside you, the one that never died even when everything else did, it's still there, waiting for you to believe again. Waiting for you to choose yourself over your comfort. Waiting for you to stop surviving and start living. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're right where you need to be. And the moment you decide to move, the world will move with you. Because freedom doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who rise. You spent so long trying to outrun yourself, pretending the noise in your mind would quiet down if you just worked harder, achieved more, or made everyone else proud. But deep down, you know that's not the truth. You can't escape what's inside you. You can only face it. And that's what freedom really is. The moment you stop running, the moment you turn toward the pain you've been avoiding and decide to feel it, understand it, and rise above it. Because healing isn't soft. It's brutal. It's the demolition of every illusion that kept you safe. You've been conditioned to believe that strength means never breaking. But real strength is the courage to shatter and rebuild yourself with your own hands. It's looking your reflection in the eye when everything in you wants to look away. It's admitting that the person you've been isn't the person you want to be anymore. That's the moment your old identity begins to crumble. And yes, it hurts. Growth always does. But the pain you feel isn't punishment. It's the sound of your old limits breaking apart. There will come a day when you stop seeking peace outside yourself, when you stop trying to fix the world so you can feel calm inside it, because you'll realize the battlefield was never out there. It was always within. And once you take back that battlefield, No one can touch you. You become untouchable not because life gets easier, but because you get anchored. You stop reacting to every storm because you finally understand. You are the storm. The mind will still test you. It will whisper old lies in new tones, hoping you'll fall back into patterns that once felt like home. But you're different now. You've seen what's on the other side of resistance. You've tasted freedom. And once you've tasted it, going back is impossible. The comfort that once protected you now suffocates you. You start craving truth more than safety, growth more than peace, and purpose more than validation. That's when you know you've crossed over. You're not surviving anymore. You're living awake. And living awake means sacrifice. It means outgrowing people you once loved, habits you once defended, identities you once clung to. It means walking into the unknown with only your conviction as a light. But that's where transformation happens. In the dark, in the silence, when no one is cheering for you. That's where you meet the real you. The one who doesn't need applause to keep going. The one who doesn't beg for permission to exist. The one who refuses to settle for a life half-lived. You've been afraid to let go because you don't know who you'll be without your pain. It's become your story, your shield, your reason. But freedom asks you to release it, to stop identifying with your suffering, to realize you are not your trauma, your past, or your scars. You are the awareness behind them. You are the observer, not the wound. And when you understand that, everything changes. The world no longer defines you. You define it. Every belief that once held you back starts to dissolve. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop pleasing and start leading. You stop trying to be understood and start understanding yourself. You become dangerous in the best way because nothing outside of you has power anymore. You're no longer waiting for life to happen. You are creating it. You're no longer hoping to be chosen. You're choosing yourself. That's not arrogance. It's liberation. This is the part most people never reach. The place where freedom becomes responsibility, where you realize your power is not a gift. It's a choice you must make every single day because even when you reach peace, the old patterns will try to drag you back. But now you'll see them for what they are. Echoes of a life you've already outgrown, and you'll smile because you'll know they can't touch you anymore. This is your awakening. The moment the illusion collapses and you finally see how limitless you've always been, nothing stands in your way now but hesitation, and hesitation is just fear pretending to protect you. Don't listen to it. You've outgrown fear. You've outgrown waiting. You've outgrown being small. This is your time to rise, to rebuild, to return to yourself. Because real freedom isn't found somewhere out there. It's found right here, in this moment, when you finally remember who you are and decide, once and for all, to live like it. You can feel it, can't you? That pull inside you that refuses to stay quiet. The one that whispers that you were meant for more than this. You try to silence it, to convince yourself that you're fine where you are, but you're not. You can't lie to your soul forever. You were never meant to just survive. You were meant to rise. But rising demands truth, and truth always comes with a cost. It requires you to face the parts of yourself you've buried, to confront the choices you've avoided, to admit that the life you're living is smaller than the one you're capable of creating. The hardest battle you'll ever fight isn't with the world. It's with your own reflection, that voice in your head that tells you it's too late, that you've made too many mistakes, that your moment has passed. But that voice is a liar. It's fear dressed as logic, trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. You've believed it for too long. You've mistaken comfort for peace, distraction for happiness, and avoidance for strength. But you can't lie to yourself anymore. Because deep down, you know the truth. Staying the same is destroying you. You say you want change, but change is brutal. It's not the pretty transformation you see in stories. It's messy. It's lonely. It's exhausting. It's destroying everything that's false before building what's real. You will lose who you were before you meet who you're meant to be. And that loss will feel like death. But what dies is your illusion, not your essence. What falls apart is what was never truly you. The pain isn't punishment, it's purification. It's the fire that burns away everything keeping you from your power. Freedom asks for one thing, everything. Every belief that limits you, every excuse that numbs you, every lie that convinces you to wait. You can't carry your old self into a new life. You have to let it burn. You have to let the version of you that settles, fears, and doubts collapse. Because on the other side of that collapse is rebirth. You won't find freedom by adding more to your life. You'll find it by subtracting everything that isn't truth. Everything that keeps you pretending. Everything that makes you forget who you are. The world doesn't change when you do what's easy. It changes when you decide that mediocrity is no longer enough. When you stop apologizing for wanting more. When you stop dimming your light because others are afraid of their own darkness. You were not born to blend in. You were born to disrupt, to break patterns, to show others what's possible when you refuse to quit. But that takes courage. The kind that isn't loud, but unshakable. The kind that doesn't ask for proof because it already knows. You might feel lost right now, but being lost just means you're finally far enough from the lie to find the truth. This is where transformation begins, not in certainty, but in surrender. The moment you stop pretending you know the way is the moment you begin to find it, and you will. Because something inside you already knows where to go. It always has. You just stop listening. But it's time to listen again, to the quiet pull in your gut, to the faint voice that says, this isn't the end. It's never been the end. The mind will try to drag you back. It will use fear as chains and guilt as anchors. It will remind you of every failure, every flaw, every time you fell short. But here's the truth. It can only use your past if you keep feeding it. The moment you stop identifying with your old story, you take your power back. You become untouchable. Because when you no longer need the world's approval, the world loses its control over you. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every wound, every failure, every dark night of the soul, it was never the end. It was the beginning. The breakdown was the breakthrough. The pain was the proof that something inside you was too powerful to stay caged, and now you stand at the edge of everything you've ever wanted, facing the only question that matters. Will you step forward, or will you stay asleep? Because the truth is simple. No one is coming to save you. Freedom doesn't wait. Life doesn't pause. The door is open right now, but it won't stay open forever. If you don't walk through it, you'll spend your life wondering what could have been. So take the step, burn the old script, silence the doubt, rise into the unknown.